let's get this show on the road.
Yeah. So welcome to Behind the Dunes podcast, episode, I don't know, 4 or 5. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thanks, Patrick's Day.
I guess I'm holding it down with the green.
Yeah, you're holding it down with the green. I'm one of the co-hosts. I'm Connor, and with my co-host,
John Floyd.
And we are here today with one other third of the Oliver team, the one, the only Ken Oliver. Ken, how are you doing today?
Greetings, doing well.
Good to
sorry
hear.
I'm missing the parade wherever it might be.
Yeah. I'm sure Savannah's got a...
I'm not even going to lie to you.
Going.
I
Do you think we can go there after this?
Why not, right?
Perfect day for it, man.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Did you go to the Hilton Head one?
No.
Sunday?
No, I did not.
I didn't either.
I didn't either.
I forgot today
I've
was
been many
St.
years.
Patrick's
I didn't
Day.
go. It was a little cold Sunday. I wouldn't push it.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that. The whole like cold spell, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
But back to beautiful weather, and we got the man, the myth, the legend right here with us today.
The one, the only Ken Oliver.
How's things going, Ken?
Hey, things are going well. It's been a crazy last couple of years, as you know, in the business. Kind of in uncharted waters, so to
It's
speak.
true.
Every day's a new, kind of a challenge, learning new every day about the business. You can't be in it long enough to get surprised with something.
That's true.
And you've been in how long now, Ken?
It's my 43rd year with Dunes Real Estate.
Wow.
Previous Dunes Marketing.
So you know the market better than anybody, for sure.
No, I'm still learning. I'm still learning every day.
But still learning, yes.
So like from when you first came here, can you talk about how much the island has changed?
Wow. Well, let's see. When I first got here, it was in 1977 at Palmetto Dunes, and I was teaching tennis with Rod Laver. It was the Rod Laver Tennis Center. At that time, I think there were about 3,500 people that lived on the island.
Wow.
And about 3 traffic lights. Mostly none of this was here. Sea Pines, was there, and Port Royal, Shipyard, and Palmetto Dunes kind of starting out. 2-lane road. Basically, in the wintertime, no one was here. If you needed to go Christmas shopping, you had to go to Savannah. There were a couple of specialty stores on the island, a couple of grocery stores. A lot different, really cool.
Did you move here for the tennis? Is that
I
what
did.
brought you? Okay.
Yeah, I got here, and then I was here for about 6 weeks. It's kind of funny. And then I left. I went up to Michigan to run a property up there for Rod Laver. Then I went to California to run another resort there. Then I came back here, met my wife here, and in the wintertime I was giving lessons to the wives of the real estate agents with Dunes Marketing and president, vice president, and I said, Ken, you ought to get in real estate sales. I said, all right. So I got my license at night driving to Beaufort, different than it is today. And I was still at the tennis center, and I'd say, hey, go up and see Daniel. He can help you out, because I was non-threatening. I wasn't a salesperson. So I would refer people up there, and they started purchasing, and anyhow, here I am.
It seemed to work out for you pretty well.
It did, and still is working out.
You still play much tennis?
No tennis.
No tennis.
Golf.
Just golf.
Golf, but not as good as you, Connor. That's
no.
for sure.
Well, he plays every day. So.
I haven't played every day since
I heard
the
your
summertime.
secret. He plays every day after work.
Once a week, maybe 3 times a month.
Yeah, that's still pretty good though.
Yeah.
Next month I'll kick it back to every day.
Where do you play a certain spot every time?
Well, you usually go over to Palmetto Dunes, Robert Trent Jones or DeFazio or Arthur Hills, go hit some balls or putt, just so I'm kind of still in it, so to speak. But no more tennis. Go to the gym every morning, but tennis doesn't work for my back.
I just started going to the gym 2 days ago. Pretty
Love
excited
going to the
about
gym.
that. I don't, but I need to do it, so here we are.
Ken, did you ever try pickleball? When it
I
first came
have,
out?
and
Have
I
you?
really like pickleball. I first tried it out in California about 4 years ago. I think it's a lot of fun. It's a low skill level game, so anybody can play and have a big time. It's kind of hard on your knees and kind of hard on your back, so I've elected not to play pickleball.
Clay got me all hyped up a couple weeks ago. He's wanting to join He came to me. He's like, "You want to
good,
play in a
good,
pickleball league?" I'm like,
He'll
"I'd love
like
to."
it.
Yeah,
He's got a bad foot, so we'll.
yeah.
It's
Tell
another
me that.
excuse that he hasn't played golf with me.
That's right. Uh-huh.
Interesting. So how's Can you tell us a little bit about the start of kind of Dunes?
Dunes. Dunes started out with Bill Byrne, who passed away a little over a year ago, I guess. And he was working up in the Poconos. Prior to that, I think he was in insurance sales. And when Queens Grant was being built, they were struggling to sell it. And that's back in the 70s, early 70s. And somehow Bill had a connection. He came down here and he met with Mr. Honorado, who was the president of Palmetto Dunes back then. And he said, I think I could make this happen for you, Bob. And so he brought down maybe, 5 or 6 people with him. Most of them were all professional sports players. Bill played for the Philadelphia Eagles, played for, Boston College, Lou Kerouac, who was the kicker for the Atlanta Falcons, different people, or baseball players. So they were called the Dunes Goons back then. And I remember this one guy from New Jersey, Gary Greenup. He came, he had a green shirt on, a green patent leather belt, green pants, green socks, and green patent leather shoes.
Sounds like the guy likes green.
Yeah, well, he missed St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
But
Perfect today.
So anyhow, Mr. Honorado, who was really running Palmetto Dunes, he said, this isn't going to work. You can't have people working here looking like that. You got to have the resort dress. And I remember Bill Byrne telling me, he said, Bob, you asked me to come here to run the property, the project. Do you want to do it your way, or do you want to do it my way? Because if you want me to do it, I'm going to do it my way. And I don't care what they wear, as long as they get the job done. So anyhow, that was the start of Dunes Marketing. They were very successful in that property, and then partnered really with Greenwood Development, who all the new properties that were released for sale developed new portions of land. Dunes Marketing Group was really like the listing agent, the exclusive listing agent. So we had a great partnership for years.
So when you started out, a lot of what you were doing was the new home sales.
A lot of new development
in
back in the 80s, where we are right now in Shelter Cove. That was, I think, 82, 83, 84. Greenwood came here and dredged this harbor. I think it was $10 million just to dredge it, bulkhead it, and put electricity in it. Everything they did here was cash, built everything cash. And I remember coming over here, and the fellow that I was working for said, Ken, there's only one place on Hilton Head Island. Where's that is? Shelter Cove. And I remember back then, someone might call, of course we didn't have that many owners, someone would call and say, we're thinking about listing our Queens Grant villa. And it's like, oh. I was a new product salesman.
Yeah.
My wife would say, how did it go today? When I got home, I go, nothing really happened. Someone called, they wanted to list their property. How it's changed.
Yes.
It's all listings now. There isn't anything new, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what'd you have to do then? I guess they'd have to find another realtor.
No.
Else, or how did that work?
Went ahead and took the listing.
Oh, okay.
But it was hard because they were competing against all this other new product, too, that was coming on. Really hard.
So you've literally seen like this whole area just like blow up from pretty much not much to now it's absolutely crazy with how many people have come here and like all of this new stuff that just keeps popping up.
Well, behind us where the Disney Vacation Club is, that used to be the Hunt Club, their cabin years ago. Palmetto Dunes was a big hunt club. I think it was called the North Carolina Gentlemen's Club or something, and that's where their lodge was. Of course, it was all solid ground. They built a harbor, and fascinating stories. A lot of neat history here in Palmetto Dunes and on the island.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
To think that right over there where there's like a little resort was a hunt club headquarters.
Yeah.
But Palmetto Dunes itself would be... That was like where they would go.
That was it. And then, they had a lot of people that offered to purchase it over the years, and then they didn't. And I think Phipps Land or Bessemer Securities or something out of Atlanta bought it, and then it kind of transitioned, and finally Greenwood Development bought the properties.
Huh.
The rest of the undeveloped Palmetto Dunes.
You would never think that, seeing it as it is now and
Yeah,
piecing that together.
That's really cool.
Did the lagoon over there, the 11 Mile Lagoon, was that always?
No, that was
Did that get
created,
added
and
as-
basically this is another interesting story. You know, the beach erosion back then, you know, had beach erosion's always coming and going. And so what they did, they dredged that all out and put it on the beach to try to protect the beach. So
Makes sense.
Years ago, if you were on the beach and you're laying out on the sand with your towel, you'd hear this big roaring of a giant earth mover, and you look up and they would have these scrapers. So I don't know if you know what they are. It's like a giant caterpillar thing that would drop down low, the belly of it, and it would scrape the sand and fill it up, and then they would go up near the dune and they'd dump it all out. Now, you know, today the town has, you know, a bed tax that they collect, and they collect millions of dollars, and the beach is renourished like every 6 or 7 years. But prior to that, I mean, every day they were out there scraping the sand on the beach, trying to keep the dune and the beach together.
Wow.
So you had to make sure that you didn't get run over.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. That's impressive too, to think that you know, how they try to prevent the erosion, what they do every 7 or 8 years, that it works. I mean, that well with what they do. It's a big project, and every time they come in and start doing all that, I've been in Charleston where they do it as well. We had vacation one year, and it's like middle of July, and they were doing it. You know, they had the big pipes all over the beach and the bulldozers and everything. So
I've yet to witness it. So
You know, and
feel like
prior
that'd
to
be pretty
that,
cool.
when I first got here, I checked in at Rod Laver Tennis Center. I'm a beach person. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, so I'm always at the beach, body surfing. And I went down to the beach, and some guys were surfing. And I went back, and later on, by the end of the day, I went back out again, and the water went away. There wasn't any water. But where I grew up, you might have had a foot tide change. Here you have a 6-foot tide change. And then they had these big gun, like turrets that were out there during World War II. So when the German U-boats were going by, they had these cannons and stuff on it. Well, they finally took them out. But at low tide, when the water really went out, they were just sitting there.
Huh.
Yeah, another interesting thing.
and that's crazy. I never even knew that was a thing. Wow,
Yeah.
man.
And you used to live in Palmetto Dunes, didn't you? I know you don't live there right now, but
Let's see, from 77 until probably, I guess, 16 years ago, we built a house at Palmetto Hall. But we started at St. Andrews Common, and then bought a place at Abington. That's in the Leamington area. And I remember across the street from us, it was just a bunch of trees and deer stands. Then we built a home over in the Mariner side, and we outgrew it. We got 4 kids in a 3-bedroom home, and it was like helter-skelter, so we built this big house across from it. Never thought we were going to move, but we did, and then built another big house in Palmetto Hall. And Palmetto Hall, interestingly, when Greenwood acquired Palmetto Dunes, that was another parcel that was a part of it. So if you were going to buy Palmetto Dunes, you had to purchase Palmetto Hall. A lot of people didn't know that. Okay, and that was considered the north end of the island back then. Like Hilton Head Plantation, people go, you're gonna go way out there. Really?
Yeah.
It's so far away.
Yeah, and so it was like a spoil almost, like why? But they had to take it. So and it's turned into a great property. It's where we're living now.
What was your favorite thing about like actually living in Palmetto Dunes, or like favorite things to do with the family when you were there?
Well, when I was teaching tennis, of course, being there with Rod Laver, that was amazing. We had so much fun, and when these campers would come and people would stay for a week and learn how to play tennis.
So it was like a summer camp type deal.
And weekly, and he was on the court, and Roy Emerson was on the court and teaching tennis, and go and have beers and stuff afterwards. But I guess the tennis center, playing tennis when I was still starting out, in real estate, and just biking around. There's sections that are over in the Inverness section. There was nothing there except, grass and dirt. They hadn't even staked the lots out yet. So it was different. Just like Leamington, there was nothing there. It was just a bunch of dirt.
Man. You have any crazy stories from back when, like, Palmetto Dunes was first starting out? Like any interesting stories?
Probably not, but let's say where the Robert Trent Jones Golf Center is now, that building to the left of it, that's kind of a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. That used to be a restaurant there called Schnickel Fritz. That was a fun place. And actually, where the Robert Trent Jones Clubhouse was, that was a restaurant where people used to come with black tie to have dinner.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess those days was just getting used to everything.
Yeah.
So the building that's right next to the golf shop, that's like an art gallery and like an archery center.
Yeah.
That was a Schnickel Fritz.
Wow. And then wasn't there like a pool right there that they
there
bulldozed over to make a parking lot?
Right. Correct.
And then Big Jim's in the pro shop was a like black tie restaurant.
Yes.
Huh.
That's cool. I never would have thought about that.
It seems odd, black tie, but you're at the beach and stuff. But I guess it was just.
But it was different.
Different time.
The people that were here a long time ago.
Yeah.
They were very wealthy people.
Yeah. Yeah. And to think it was a hunt club and all that, and just kind of the sophistication.
And when you were talking about that lot that was across the street from your old house when you first built it, you're like, there's deer stands. Like, it's just crazy to think that like people were hunting.
Yeah, and this was supposed to be really. John Robinson gave me this book, and this was like the prime deer place.
Really?
Deer. Oh, like prime.
Interesting.
I mean, that's just so crazy to think of, like, these places that we go to all the time, like, used to be like a hunting ground, and now it's a residential area.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Well, if you got to like Fripp Island and some of those places out in Beaufort, where, cars aren't as prevalent and stuff. I mean, there's deer everywhere.
Yeah.
You see them here, but not like out there. But I could see that, areas like this.
I mean, with the amount of trees and stuff we have here that have been cut down or lost to hurricanes and stuff like that, I can't imagine how many trees were here before it was developed, considering how many trees we have here now. Mm-hmm. That's like one of the only downfalls is when you're trying to look for someplace, you can't see the sign because of all the trees.
So I'll tell you a fun story. I had a friend of mine that I worked with in Sarasota with dunes, and his uncle had this big corrugated box business, and he had one of these offshore racing boats called What a Package. Okay? And
what a name.
So he said, hey, Uncle Frank's coming up or whatever. He might be interested in purchasing something. So we got in the car. We're driving around in Palmetto Dunes. And I got to the north gate in the Mariner section. And I said, Frank, tell me, how do you like it so far? He goes, I don't. I go, really? What is it you don't like? He goes, I can't see anything. So he was from Florida, where they just strip it out.
Yeah.
You can have beautiful trees. They just take them all out. And that was the only person I've ever had that told me they didn't like it.
Yeah.
Couldn't see anything.
Yeah, you go to Florida and it's like you get one palm tree for every like 500 square feet or like 500 square yards. And here it's like, oh, okay, we have way more trees.
Did they end up moving?
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's still in New Jersey.
Yeah.
No,
Interesting.
definitely can't see anything there except for other houses.
So are you a boat guy at all, or just mostly beach?
Or not really. We had a boat a long time ago, it's kind of a hassle for me. Getting it in, getting it out, washing it down. I don't mind going out on a boat.
It's better to have friends with boats.
Yeah, and if they know how to drive a boat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not pound a boat.
Yeah,
I
agree.
I like just kind of putting, not pounding.
Yeah.
So, but Clay has a boat.
Clay has a boat?
Yeah, he's partnered with his father-in-law. So he's got a small, like a 17-foot or something.
He
Did not mention this.
There's a reason he didn't mention it.
He's going to be coming outdoors.
Interesting. Clay will be giving you a call. Summertime's
Get
coming.
ready for that text.
That is awesome.
I did get a chance to go out net, which was nice.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. Works. Center console.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Does he fish at all? Or is it just more to get out?
No, like bass fish, freshwater fish,
Yeah.
lake fish, but he's learning all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder what else he's been holding out on us.
Probably a lot.
Yeah. I had an hour and a half conversation with him. He didn't even tell us he had a boat. Didn't we ask him if he was a boat or beach guy?
We asked the same question. Yep. He did not bring it up. So he just said beach and left it at that, I think.
Clay, I'm
so.
disappointed.
Man. So how's the real estate market right now? How's life treating you with that?
It's challenging. It's exciting. It's challenging. It's challenging due to the number of people that want to be here, and the island's always a supply-demand driven kind of market, so you can't make any more of it. And now there's more people wanting the small supply. That's always a small supply. So it's challenging. It's really challenging being a buyer, working with buyers. I think they're experiencing like buyer fatigue. They chase, they put an offer in. Sometimes they get it, they don't get it. Disappointed, and I've gotten fatigued chasing for them.
Correct.
And I mean, there's a lot of agents that are here from all over. People will call me on a listing, and I look at 828 area code. Where is that? Hickory, North Carolina. So a lot of people that are here new. So I think there's a lot of overzealous, maybe sellers, and the same maybe some overzealous agents, doing whatever they can do to secure a listing. So the market's, there's a lot of inventory being sold every day, but it's just not where you get to see it all the time. I thought of it, it's like maybe you're making wedding cakes, and let's say you sell 6 every week, okay? And so you come out on Monday and you put the 6 out on the shelf, and by Friday they're all gone. Well, now, you kind of push the door open with your butt, and you come out with a cake. I'll take it. And you don't even get to put it on the rack on the shelf. Ring it up in the cash register, you go back in to get the next. I'll take it. So it's different. So a lot of people think that nothing's selling, but there's a lot of property selling. It's just not visible for a very long period of time. Not on the market for a very long period of time. That makes sense.
Yeah. Especially with like delayed listings and stuff like that popping up. Literally, like you said, people are like, I'll take it. I want it. I'll take it. Let's go.
Are you sensing now that we've been in this market for a while, you were talking about buyer fatigue, but buyers have been paying more than ever, been reducing contingencies to help win bidding wars. Are you starting to see more of that now, to where they're just like,
It's still out there. No appraisal contingencies, no contingencies. Take it as is. I had a property last week that I think we had 5 offers on, and we were suspending offers at 3:00 on a Tuesday or something. And 5 minutes to 3, the offer that finally outbid everybody. They outbid by, pretty good amount of money, but no repairs by the seller, no inspection, paragraph 8 crossed off, everything crossed off. So
How do you how do you not take that as a seller?
no, you can't.
I'll take it.
Yeah, just kind of crazy.
Yeah. What's the biggest lesson you've learned in your long career in real estate? I know that's kind of putting you on the spot, but
Probably to ask more questions and to listen more. I work on that every day. You know, when we're little, you're in school to go, okay, what's 2 plus 1? 3. Everybody wants to give an answer. So I can't really learn about the people if I'm just answering all the questions. I mean, I need to answer them, but there's a reason why they're asking the question. So what's important about that question, to delve into it further, to understand what, you know, their situation is, what their problem might be, how do I solve that? But that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned and continue to work on every day. I mean, every day, because I have a tendency to be quick with giving someone an answer because I know information. So who cares?
yeah.
That's a good skill.
Working on it.
And I think a lot of realtors have that tendency. We know information and we want to
Tell
display
everybody.
how much we know instead of
tell
actually
everybody.
learning what
I
they
think a
are
lot of
looking
people
for.
do that. Not just
Yeah.
like, especially like if you're in
Some of it's
sales.
nervousness.
Yeah.
You know, if you're meeting with a new couple,
Sure.
it's
You
just
just start
anxiousness.
talking.
You just start talking.
You
You
know.
start jabbing.
Let me tell you about.
So yours is almost hear the questions, kind of think on the questions, but then it sounds like, I mean, and I know you do a great job of it, then you almost further dive into that. Okay, well,
Yeah, just keep expanding on it, keep expanding on it, keep
more and more.
expanding on it.
Yep.
So, you know, if they mention grandkids, for example, well, tell me more about your grandchildren. You know, well, what do they like to do? This and that. How important is it to get together? That's why we want to get a place here, so we can all get together. How would you use it? What time of year would you use it? How does that work? You know, how do you see yourselves using it? Whatever. Instead of go, oh, this 3-bedroom will be perfect for you. Let's get in the car and go look at it.
When in reality, they want to get someplace, but they need 4 bedrooms and they're going to use it for a specific time frame of year and then maybe do something else with it.
We really don't know how
Yeah.
they're going to use it or what's important to them in it. There's a lot of questions. And you got to be able to question without interrogating.
You're discovering.
Yeah, discovering.
yeah, I'd say you're the king of that. So we've all learned from you over the years in that aspect, even with walk-ins and stuff, you know, just trying to gather and learn. And that was what I did a lot when I first got in, was paid attention to you, Jeff, Bill Kelly, a lot of these people that they're successful for a reason. What is that reason? And the main reason that I learned was all of you ask the right questions and you listen. So I agree with that. Is there any advice in our field of real estate that you hear go around a lot that you think is awful advice, bad advice, anything like that comes to mind?
You know, I think a couple of things. I'm older, so, you know, I operated on a 4x6 card. And, you know, I might walk into Daniel's office, he doesn't have a piece of paper on his desk. Walk into Clay's office, he doesn't have a piece of paper on his desk. But everything's on his laptop or his tablet or something. I'm more of a visual person, so I take notes, and if I see it, I go, oh, I remember I was talking to Connor and this. But probably a couple things. I think most of the people that we deal with are still, if you will, old school to a degree. They like to talk. They'll let you know if they don't want to, if they're going to want to text or email, but I think there's so much lost in translation. I don't really know what this text message means until I kind of talk to them about it. I think people like to get a thank you note, something that's handwritten to them. I think they appreciate that. So the people that I'm dealing with, I mean, I'm not dealing with 27-year-olds or 30-year-olds that are buying property for the most part. They're all in their 50s, 60s, and they're still, it's nice to get something in the mail. To say, hey, it was great meeting you. Look forward to helping you out. So I'm a big note person, and a thank you note person. And I love being on the phone and talking to people, and that's really how I built my business. And then when it got so busy, I couldn't keep up with it. But to me, I don't think you can replace that personal touch with social media or e-blast or whatever. You can send out an e-blast, you can send out something, but then you got to follow up. You got to call them. Connor, did you get that? What do you think about that? Instead of waiting for that venue that you have set up, that's going to get them to call you. If that makes sense. What I'm saying.
Because you're kind of looking at them more as it's like a relationship. It's not
Absolutely.
it's not so much as like
it is a relationship.
It's not so much as you're person number one on my list. I'm going to call you. Oh, speaking of calling, I don't have my phone on vibrate.
That's the host.
As the host. Yeah. Awkward. So
no, it is. It's a relationship business.
Yeah. Clay told us last week when we were talking to him, like, you still talk to people that like they're not going to buy or sell like ever again. They've been here or they've moved somewhere else. They've moved on, but you still keep in touch with them, just like see how they're doing and stuff like that.
I try send them a Christmas card every year, and I think, hey, they might know someone. They might be back. I don't know. Just staying in touch. Just staying in touch. If it's once a year, it's once a year. They get my card, and I got people go, I look forward to seeing your family each year, how they're changing, this and that. And so it's just not on a monthly basis, but those people all get something once a year.
I mean, I like that. Like if somebody were to do that to me, I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
As like a prospective buyer, seller, etc.
But again, you're one that, I mean, you truly care too. I think in our business, we see a lot of, it needs to be more relationship based than transaction based, and we see more of the latter. But with the way you question, the way you get to know them, their family, you almost get to know them on a deeper level too, which has that bond and that connection once they move here or have a second home.
It's funny. I've had some owners recently that have lost their wives, and we've been out to dinner a couple of times. I just went out with one last evening, and really special that someone would want to do that and say, Ken, let's do it again. Maybe in a couple of months, let's get together again. And so, and obviously people like to be appreciated. So when someone lets me know that they've appreciated me and what I've been doing, I think that's great. And it's hard. I'm working on something now where I'm representing the seller and the purchaser. It's kind of messy, repair things, and everybody has their own thoughts of what's going on, and someone's kind of delaying this and whatever, and it's all, I don't want that to happen. There's so many things I can't control. It's probably not going to work out. I'm going to have two unhappy people. And speaking of that, the person that called me about purchasing, he sold his property through me probably 20 years ago. And he called me up. He said, we're looking for a little something, whatever. I go, Dave, that's amazing. Thank you for calling me. There's a lot of people out there. And so it's not working out now. So I feel really kind of creepy. He's losing, I don't know. I don't know if he is. I think his wife is losing kind of faith and confidence in me. I can't do much about it. They're inspection things. But I don't want that to happen.
Right.
And I want the purchaser to have a good experience and the seller. So, yeah, I used to really, really take it personally. I try not to now when people get upset with you or whatever. Because, all I have to me is my integrity, and, I work hard every day, want to do the best I can for everybody, and that's all I can do.
We had your son Clay Oliver on this podcast last week, and he joined your team in 2018, I believe it is.
Yeah, I think so. It was so strange.
4 years. How's that going?
Well, it's different. I really never knew that Clay was such I'm a task-oriented person, but I wouldn't say I'm a driving style. Clay, I've learned, is more of he's a task, but he's a driver. He's a time thing. He's short. He wants to get it done. Mm-hmm. And I did not encourage him to get into the business. I have a real estate coach, which he has the same real estate coach, and he's the one that really encouraged Clay to get into the business. Mm-hmm. And, there were a lot of mixed emotions, and working for your dad, I don't know even how that would feel. So he would be coming into the office. I'm opening the door. He's following me in. It's like, what's going on? But everybody at Dunes Real Estate was so welcoming and supportive to him, which was just amazing. And, of course, he's been around the business, and he knows Palmetto Dunes and knows the island, and from delivering pizzas to whatever. And then listening to all the stories when I would go home at night, and this isn't working, and that's not working, I'm having a problem with this. And so, but he really does his own thing. We market ourselves really as a team, but I never really wanted to be a team. It sounds funny. Mm-hmm. I'm an individual, and I'm a kind of controller, so I want to kind of do my little thing. But it's all worked out great. Clay kind of does his thing. Mm-hmm. I do my thing. Sometimes we might go on a listing appointment together. We just did recently. It worked out well. We help each other. What do you think about this? What do you think pricing on that? What would you do if you were this thing? So I think it's worked out well. He's done extremely well. I'm really happy and pleased for him. And, this business, it's a prospecting business. So if you're not prospecting, nothing's going to happen. And when Clay first started out of college, he was working for a job recruiting company in Atlanta. And literally all he did all day, he just had a phone in his hand and just called people. Mm-hmm. So he has no, call reluctance. So I spoke to him today. I said, so Clay, he said, yesterday, didn't you sell 8 dinghy? Yeah. And I go, why do you ask? He says, well, because I'm calling them right now. So I represented a seller years ago. I said, yeah. He said, yeah, I'm calling every oceanfront owner in Palmetto Dunes today. So yeah. He just keeps on calling. Yeah. And he's put some really significant transactions together by people that in the beginning go, we have no interest in doing anything. Mm-hmm. I understand, and I'm just calling to say hi, introduce myself. But would there be a number that might get you interested? Oh, we're not listing our property. Well, what if I was able to find someone for you at that number? Well, maybe we could talk then. Sometimes it happens. So, yeah, you really have to kind of, especially today, I think you have to kind of be underground almost, trying to know about these things before anybody else does. Mm-hmm. But that's just reaching out. Yeah. Reaching out. Mm-hmm.
And we asked him kind of about some of his most fulfilling success he's had, and a lot of that comes from, it's one thing to, find a buyer or have somebody come in and then you find a property on the MLS and you help them buy it. It's great and you're happy. But, he was just kind of it's a different feeling when or if I have a buyer that I can't find anything and I go out of my way just by making calls and doing things that is definitely above and beyond what a normal realtor would probably do. or if I find that listing and I list that and I help those people, but it's just for me putting in that effort. He was talking about how fulfilling that is.
Yeah,
and seeing a lot of that now.
Or, we're dealing with people that are getting older.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they're widowed and they're really anxious, nervous about the only home we sold was when we were in Toledo, and then we moved here 28 years ago, and my husband's passed away. What do I do now? And I go, Judy, that's what we're here for. Sounds corny, but we're going to hold your hand from now until the end. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. And what does that mean? That means for people to help you get things in a box or things to a consignment store or repair people or helping with people that do repairs or negotiating a contract for you where there aren't any repairs that are going to be done on your behalf. So you don't have to go through it all. And at the end, said, you know what, you were right. I've been stressed, okay, but you, Clay, Ann have, held my hand through the whole experience, and it's an overwhelming experience, especially doing it on your own. So I think we get a lot of joy and satisfaction out of doing that for people. Mm-hmm. And then obviously we get self-satisfaction because they thank us, and everybody wants to be appreciated for their work and their efforts that they put in, because most people, just like in any business, they have no idea what it is until they've tried it out for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Tell us a little bit about Ann, too. I know she's been behind the scenes.
Well, Ann is great, and really helps with closings. Her biggest job is inspections, and that's really the toughest part, I think, of the whole sales process. So you get someone that's buying, especially today, they pay someone full price. You can go over this section in the contract, Section 8. This is what the seller's responsible to do. Do you understand that? John, do you Oh, I get that. Yeah, I understand it. Okay, I just want to make sure. Then somebody goes, no, that fogged window, they're not responsible for that. Well, what do you mean? I just paid full price. I go, yeah, there it is. It's everybody kind of gets amnesia. So I don't have patience for that. No, I don't like conflict. So Ann is really kind of genius at that. That's really her big thing. And she's able to say, hey, I know that's not what you were anticipating, but you're going to have to fix that, or you're going to have to replace that. Well, you're obligated to do so, and if not, purchasers don't have to accept the property then. So she's able to say that in a nice way. Mm-hmm. She's there. We've been together for years. She's kind of my psychotherapist in a way, all my stuff that I deal with. But she's great. She gets lots of compliments, lots of great Zillow reviews along with reviews that I get. So, yeah, can't say enough about Ann. She's great.
Yeah.
We'll have to get Ann on next, and then we can have everybody from the Oliver team right in a row.
It's not a bad idea,
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be fun.
We've asked, I think, everybody this question, but you've been in the longest of any of them, so I'm curious, but you have any crazy, don't get too in detail, but do you have any crazy real estate stories? And it could be Bill's was a dog biting his hand at a showing, and
John had somebody fall through a roof.
Yeah, that's pretty common, I feel. But mine was the buyer fell through the roof and then backed out. It was a whole bunch of stuff. It could be a
one that kind of comes. I was showing a home in Palmetto Dunes, and walked in, and I guess someone had used the bathroom several days before, and the seller had turned the water off. Ooh. So luckily they had a pool. So I got the waste paper basket or trash can or whatever, and started to become a plumber.
Oh man,
But
that was somebody else's listing.
yes.
Oh wow.
I was helping someone else out.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I was helping them out. I remember, we kind of run. We don't, someone calls us, we run, we jump, we jump, we run, we jump, we jump. And at night, I would be talking to this seller. And they were so mean and like vicious. Then I'd talk to them in the morning. They were like pussycats. Well, they were all drinking wine or whatever they were doing. So I finally got smart on that, and I said, I'm not talking to anybody at night, hopefully not past 6, but, maybe 7 o'clock, that's it, because, it was a totally different personality. I mean, from way from one extreme to the next. I go, what's wrong? But then I kind of figured it out. But nothing. I mean, there's lots of crazy stories that we could tell you about. Lots of crazy stories, where
so many.
I'd have to have thought about that before I came over.
Yeah. But yeah, we've had some funny ones come up. So it's just stuff you never think about. Is I'm going to get in and sell some real estate, and here you are, becoming a plumber at somebody else's listing.
I've encountered the plumbing one multiple
It
occasions.
was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've run across
Lovely.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clay's was the dog ran into the villa.
Yep.
The owners had the dog on the
Oh, I
leash, let him
remember, and
off,
he
and it
pooped.
ran in
That
right
was
on the
our
carpet.
listing.
Yeah. He was telling that one.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We'll get that cleaned up right away.
Yeah.
That was Mr. Waterman.
Yep.
I do have a good memory for those things, but if you told me to come over here today at 2, I wouldn't remember. So that's the problem.
I'm the same way. I had to put it in my calendar like 3 times. So, you movie guy?
Not really. I'm not a big TV movie guy. But if you want to ask me about my favorite movie,
Favorite movie?
I don't have one.
Okay.
Are you a movie buff?
No.
I just asked that.
No, I remember this agent in our
I'm
office,
tuned you out.
Sharon Skelton. She said, "Did you see such and such?" I go, "No." I go, "What's it?" Goes, "Oh, it had so-and-so, 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 and so-and-so." I go, "I don't know who any of those people are." "You don't know who they are?" "Oh, my gosh, Kenny, what's the matter with you?" I go, "Sorry."
What about music? Are you a music buff?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like all kinds of music.
Okay.
I don't like nervous jazz. It's like... But I like every other kind of music.
I didn't even know that was a genre.
Yeah.
Like smooth
but I
jazz,
do
you're
like
good
the
with?
Rolling Stones. That's like my favorite band. Been to a lot of concerts.
You ever
Actually took Clay to a concert. I think he was about 7. Fell asleep on the encore.
Was that the Stones concert?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Clay. Falling asleep.
Clay.
Of course, when you're 7, you don't
But I
appreciate
can listen
that.
to classical music. I can listen to country. I can listen to all kinds of music.
You ever go to the jazz club here?
A few times.
I've never been.
There's a jazz club?
Yeah. It's huge.
And I really respect
Well, it's not
musicians.
huge, but it's like a
it's,
big thing.
it's amazing how people can play instruments.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I have 2 super important questions for you.
Uh-oh.
All right. First one. I asked the hard questions here. What are your thoughts on Bitcoin?
Bitcoin?
Yep.
I don't even know what it is. I just got this thing the other day. It must be some scam. I don't have a PayPal account. They said your PayPal account was charged $3,895 for your Bitcoin purchase. If you think this is incorrect, call us.
That was from Clay.
So I don't know. Someone says you mine it, you get it. I don't know what Bitcoin is. So next question.
We should have a cryptocurrency themed podcast. Just ask people about it. All right. What is your favorite golf course on the island?
On the island?
On the island.
Favorite golf course on the island? On island, I'd probably say Robert Trent Jones.
Cool. See you there Sunday.
All right. Cool. You got tea time?
No, we can make one though.
All right.
John, you want to play?
I'm in Houston. So
Yeah.
time
We
for
should do
my
a-
wife and I to get away without the baby.
We should do a golf
Good for you.
podcast.
Yeah.
Just film it out on the golf course.
What about Off Island?
Let's see, off island. I like Belfair.
I mean, who doesn't like Belfair?
Belfair.
I haven't played.
Berkeley Hall is pretty tough. I just played over at Colleton River at the Pete Dye course. Haven't been there in a long time, but that's a cool course. Those courses out there are really pretty awesome. I do like Old South. I like Old South.
I do like a good round at Old South.
I like Old South, and I've never finished. I think I finished one round. Is it Hilton Head National?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Every time I've been there, there's been a thunderstorm, or it's
Really?
poured rain. Yeah.
The last time I went, there was a thunderstorm,
Yeah.
and they called us.
And
out.
I went with Clay, John Robinson, and somebody. We got like 15 holes in. That was it. I've never finished a round.
That's where my weekly league is.
It must be like in the summer because we were there, and it started. We were like the only people on the course, and they were blowing horns trying to get us in. So I think that time I went with Andy Thompson, who used to be with us. I think him and I went one random summer weekend or something. But I got to get out and play more. Y'all are embarrassing me. I'm averaging like once a year right now.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Feel free to come join us.
it's not fun to play with me.
You got other things to do, John.
Yeah. I'll bring the baby with me. We'll teach him golf.
I play with multiple people over the summer,
Yeah.
like after work, and they were on vacation. They had like their little babies sitting in the cart with them,
Yep.
trying to teach them how to play golf. Do it. Start them young.
Mm-hmm.
Get you on that junior golf scene.
No, that's too expensive. I don't have money like that.
But it'll be fun.
Anything you want to add, Ken? That's about all I had for you. But
No, I appreciate you guys being here today. It was fun talking about the old days and today. A lot of old day stories. But yeah, I think the island overall it's such an amazing place. Obviously, the beach and you get out into the waterway is another incredible thing that people don't get to experience, and the natural beauty. And, there's been mistakes made. But overall, I think it's pretty hard to beat. I've been a lot of places, and it's amazing.
yeah,
And I'm fortunate that I get to work here and live here.
Yeah.
And play here.
Can't really beat it.
Can't.
Well, Ken, thank you so much for your time.
Of course. Thanks, you
It was
guys.
a pleasure
Yeah,
having you here.
appreciate it.
Had a good time.
And maybe we'll get you on when we do the golf version of the podcast.
Or talking more about cryptocurrency.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll get online tonight.
learn
I'll
from
really
the master
start to
over
get
here.
into that
All right.
to learn about it.
I'll make sure to grill you on that next time.
Okay, beautiful.
Connor's gonna be the only one that knows anything about it, so we'll just learn from him.
Have you invested in any of it?
No.
Oh, that's good.
Oh well, never mind. I thought you were investing in it.
No.
So,
No.
And Bill Kelly said he has like a pinky toe in it.
Yeah.
Just.
I mean, I have like
follow it.
I have an Uber pinky toe.
I have
like,
no idea.
it's not very much at all. Way less than Bill. But
Is it something you think we should be
I mean, it's
be
something
very
that
focused on?
we should have done like in 2016.
Next.
That's it.
All right.
Pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next time.
Thanks,
Ken.